Mia? No, I'll log her. What's up, everyone? Bear with me for a second here. We're having a very rough day. Okay, let's see. Was that formula? Oh, you right, you right. Okay. I'm somewhat still getting everything down here set up, so give me 1 second. Many rough days once you become a new parent. Come on. Of course, only one light wants to go on. The good kind of rough, indeed. We've got Mia with us today. Because she is being a little bit fussy. What's up, everyone? Hi, Mia. You want to say hi to the stream? No? Try and get her to sleep, but... Hi, love. Hi. Say hello to everybody. Let's see who... Alright. You good laying down like this? While I read off the first comments? Alright. First in the chat today was Staying 2007. Hey, yo. What's up, what's up, what's up? We have Coalition Gaming Chris. Was in the house. That was earlier. I'm not sure if he still is. Craig Lilly. Hello, hello, hello. Love. Hey. Okay. Let's see. What up, Extreme Zone? Stangs on 7 says, what's up? Just Ancient and Nervous. Baby is coming either tonight, tomorrow, over the weekend. Are you inducing? Or is that just the expected due date and you're gonna induce no matter what? C-section plan? What's up with that? But get ready for it because life gets crazy once they get here. But it's worth it. Isn't it worth it? Mia, would you agree? She was just screaming her head off, which is why I'm holding her right now. She was giving her mom a hard time. Is everyone having babies on this channel? It sounds like it. Stank 2007 was not expecting the baby to come until July, so coming early. My niece came really early, but she's doing fine now. What up, Kale130? What up, Techie Tech? What up, Busy Redstone? Evening Reluctant Hero. What up, Hood Ninja? Kale130 says, looks like I may as well stay on the laptop until these storms pass. What storms? 9060 XT is readily in stock and great performance. What up, Sid98? Mini Nobe indeed. Hopefully she will be a mini nerd on a budget and not a mini person with a gigantic, expensive, high-class taste, big budget. But we will see. Still too young. You okay? You okay? Which one of the twins is older? This is the younger twin by 2 minutes. This one's Mia. She is what my wife calls a magnet baby, where she pretty much fusses a lot and expects to be held, whereas Lexi, the other one, we could put her down and she could just be chill and hang out with herself. So, yeah. What up, Evo Bayer? She's Mini Nobe 2. Mini Nobe 1 is upstairs being fed right now. You good now? You good? As soon as I put you down, you're gonna start crying. Inducing labor due to preeclampsia. Okay, got it. When we went in, we were supposed to go in on a Friday, except because it was a planned induction, we weren't as high a priority because it's not like unexpected. So then they pushed us to the next day, Saturday, and then we came in Saturday morning, and there were so many people that cut the line that had higher priority to give birth than my wife that we got pushed all the way till Sunday. So we just spent all of Saturday chilling in the hospital, bored out of our minds because we didn't expect to wait that long, and I made the mistake of not bringing like a laptop so I could game and stuff like that. So yeah, we literally just chilled at the hospital a whole day prior. What up, Firestorm? The lady who builds the PC said you were her favorite YouTuber. Wait, what? Oh, you were mentioned in a Toasty Bros short earlier. Oh, Andrea? Yeah. That, Jackson's mom. Oh, I need to watch that. And I need to say thank you to that. I was her favorite YouTuber? No way. She's very sweet. She has helped me out in the past. She actually sent me a game key for... Was it The Last of Us? It was one of the games. And then, so I sent her... my wife helped make her like a little tool pouch thingy, and I sent her some stickers. But yes, Andrea from Toasty Bros is, or Andrea. I think I'm saying, I don't know why I keep on wanting to say Andrea, but Andrea from Toasty Bros is very sweet. She's a very kind lady. You okay now? Okay, we're gonna read some more comments and I take you back upstairs. Love my kids. Have 8. The youngest being 4-month-old. Says HDD. That's a ridiculously high number. And I know because my wife is one of 8 siblings. So she has 7 other siblings and she is the 3rd oldest. So I married someone who is in a family where their parents had 8 kids. And there's a lot of siblings. The biggest gap being how many years? I think like 12-ish years. But my wife and I, who are, 35, 36, her youngest brother is 18. So a very big gap to her. When are you building the PC? We're just chilling for a second, making sure Mia, her eyes are closed now. So making sure she's, oh, she opened her eyes. She heard me talking about her. But just making sure she's good before I take her back upstairs. And then I will show you the test bench, which I actually need to continue. Let me continue setting up the table. So yeah, here's all the parts. I already have them laid out. We're going to build it. Hopefully I can build it in a reasonable amount of time. And the case is on the ground. But yeah, before we get started, I always read the chat a bit. And, give people time to use the restroom, grab a snack, hang out. Small talk, Okay, you very chill now, girl. Sorry, my OBS is doing one hand is hard. Oh, you're talking about literal storms. I thought you meant the storms of the graphics card market. Like weather the storm until prices come down. I didn't know you meant literal ones. Okay, stay safe for anyone who is in the path of the storms. Evo Bear said, question, I just upgraded my CPU from a Ryzen 5 5700 to Ryzen 9 5900X. Is it possible updates for the CPU? Because it was secondhand. No. Your motherboard should already be set for any chipset drivers that you have for it and the BIOS and all that. So there's no specific drivers. At least I don't think they're like in terms of like compatibility wise for your motherboard. If it works with your 5700, it should work for your 5900X. You shouldn't have to do like a BIOS update between the two. to my knowledge. But best to check your specific motherboard, you know, model on the website, and it'll say what's compatible or not. I didn't know that was his mom. I know, she looks young, right? A lot of people, I think in the comments, they always thought it was his sister. Mia should build a micro PC or a mini ITX. Yeah, these girls, hopefully I can get them into PC building once, you know, their little tiny hands can like hold tools and stuff like that. Member for 8 months. Thanks for the support, Techie Tech. That's a weird looking GPU you got there. Actually, let's take a look at baby versus GPU size. Okay. We're gonna just chill over here for a second. This is a relatively comfortable soft surface. All right, Mia, you lay here for a second. Here is Mia next to a 9060XT ASRock Steel Legend. She is decently longer than it and heavier than it, but this is a pretty beefy card still for a, you know, mid-range $350 to $400 card. Yes. Oh. Here, let me put you on my shoulder again. Come on. You can wrap your little tiny hands around me. There we go. There we go. Okay. Congrats on the baby, Snob. I have been watching since 2016. Dang, we're coming up on 10 years. Crazy to see. I know, right? Crazy it took me that long to have kids. No. Yeah. What? Like, if you go back and watch some of the earliest videos on the channel versus now, I feel like I look relatively the same. I haven't aged that much, but my situation in life is way different. Married, house, kids, you know, the American dream. I dare anyone not get fuzzy, warm feelings looking at this. I got a new laptop and they hid upsell in my order at Dell. Be careful, chat. What? And they hid upsell. They hid an upsell in your order at Dell. I think night owls. They're both night owls. All babies are night owls for the longest time when they wake up every 2 to 3 hours to feed. No more gaming for Danny. He's a full-time dad now. I'm trying to trade for a Steam Deck so that I can game on the couch while I'm holding them. But I haven't been gaming for like the last week or so, just because I've been trying to get caught back up with the channel, which is very difficult to do with how busy we are now with 2 kids. Actually, we need an old PC case and turn it into a crib. That seems dangerous. That seems like it might be sharp and pokey. Yes, this is an LTT desk pad. This is one of their big ones. I forget if this is the one. I think this is the one that I bought. So I bought one, and then eventually they sent some for the LAN videos. But yeah. Thank you, Broku. Thank you. Take Mia to the doctor, and he asked how long is she? Nobody's like, a little bigger than 9060 XT. Yeah. Thanks, Angry Yank Garage. See, this is what proper showing off looks like. Indeed. Bro, I have never been one to flex my computer and my graphics card and my CPU and all my specs and stuff. Because honestly, all that stuff that I have is pretty mid-range. Pretty mid. But these girls, top tier in my opinion. Top tier. Hi. You ready to go upstairs and be a chill girl from mom? We gotta get this computer built, girl. Somebody's waiting on this PC. This PC is actually going to... I don't know if Harley and Lily are in the chat, but I built a PC for this client for his son not too long ago. And then his little girl saw it and became kind of more obsessed with PCs now. So then he asked if I could build one for his daughter. So this is a PC that I'm actually building for someone's daughter. So yeah, they've been waiting on it, and I've just been waiting for the parts to come in, because The motherboard was actually, it took a while to ship. White motherboard, just white parts in general, man. Hunting them down is a bit of a process and a pain, especially when you're trying to be money conscious about it. Is that, yes, this is G-Skill RAM. It is the Ripjaws M5s. I'll go over all the parts real quick in a bit. Girls, twins, yes, twin girls. 2 for the price of 1, just like the Nerd on a Budget style. 2 for 1 deals. Enjoy the time when the kids are young before you know it. They're already growing up very quickly. They can't even fit their preemie stuff that they were just wearing just the other week. And we're taking progress pictures, so yeah, they're growing up already pretty fast, so. Thank you for joining the Nerd on a Big Budget Angry Yank Garage. I appreciate it. Evil Bear says, I want to do a white build. Yeah, white builds, the only thing about them is that white parts usually carry a premium. And as soon as they kind of like are out of production, their prices like skyrocket even more. It kind of sucks. But I was pretty lucky to find all these parts at reasonable prices, and I'll go over them in a second. All right, we're 17 minutes in. All right, girl, you chill now? I take you back up to mommy? Yeah. Okay, I will be right back. You guys get to enjoy the be right back screen. So be right back. Okay. Should be good. Let me see. I need to finish turning on the lights and stuff. I was literally running super behind right up to the stream started. To when the stream started. Alright, we got the background music. Let me turn on this light, which for some reason was not wanting to turn on. Oh, did it get disconnected? What's going on? What is going on here? It did. That's why I didn't turn on. Okay. We're good there. Okay, let me check the cameras. Bro, why does your PC case look like a baby? I know, right? Imagine a baby-shaped PC case. That would be creepy. Someone could probably do it with a baby doll. Put a micro or like a, Raspberry Pi in it. That's very creepy. Okay, let me make sure my angles are good. Test bench angle. Nope, that's not right. We want to go a little bit more this way. Nope, wrong way. There we go. Kind of like right here. Then we got this, and then... Okay. here's the parts. Let me realign them. I moved everything because I laid Mia down here. Okay, let me get the chat going. I've been binge watching your video. Thanks for that. I'm guessing you recently found the channel, but either way, thank you for supporting and watching this stuff and joining the channel memberships. I appreciate that a lot. Extreme Zone. Son is already driving my car around. Nice being chauffeured around instead of doing the chauffeuring. I feel like by the time my girls are able to drive, there's going to be FSD, full self-driving, on like all the newest cars. So I don't even know if I need to be chauffeured by them versus letting the robots and AI do it. Hey Danny, why did you choose LGA 1700 for this build? The reason I chose LGA 1700 was because I found good deals on the parts, and the white motherboard was one of the better looking ones at a good price. So good price on the CPU as well as a good price on the white motherboard, which an equivalent AM5 B650 board was noticeably more expensive. So I got the motherboard basically open box, but it was pretty much brand new. I couldn't find a spec on it that looked like it was used. And then, yeah, so I think LGA 1700 is still fine if you get it at the right price, especially for a gaming PC. Yeah, I'm using a... I guess we can just go over the parts now. But I'm going to try to keep up with chat. It's kind of hard when I do these builds because there's just so much going on. But I will try to do both at the same time. Let me make sure my mouse goes wireless so I can still use it over here. But all right, let's go over the parts. So the main star of the show is right here. And we showed this in last week's stream. I unboxed it. But this is the ASRock Steel Legend OC 9060 XT. I was able to pick this up on Newegg. It looks like it's still available on Newegg for close to MSRP. Well, a little bit over MSRP, but that's considering AIB tax as well as white parts tax. This came out to be, it was listed for $389, so 40 over MSRP. But given the color and the AIB nature of it, I feel like that's a very reasonable price, given the performance this comes in at. And we were specifically looking for a white build that the person I'm building it for specifically said, let's spend a little bit more money to get it the color that his daughter wants. So yeah, that's why we ended up with that. For the processor, can you guys even see this? Probably not at this angle, but this is a 13600K. As much as, you know, Intel for their newest stuff and their 14th gen high-end processors were having problems and BIOS issues. i5s, especially with the BIOS update, there's no issues at all. These are if you can find them for a good price, these are very good value-oriented chips. I got this one for 13600K. Given that 7500Fs, which is the biggest or the newest budget option for AM5, those prices have actually gone up over on AliExpress with potential markups when you get it shipped over, and it could be held up at customs and they might want to make you want to pay more. I just went with, you know, the 13600K, which pairs very nicely with the 9060 XT. And then with the 13600K, I got a B760M motherboard, and this board was 120. I forgot, one of these were 120, one of these were 130, but either way, this one, I got it in the Amazon open box, Amazon renewed, but it came basically brand new, and we're going for a white build. It's gonna be actually white and pink, but so I went white all the parts, and on the Intel side of things, this board it was like $40 cheaper than the only other white B650 board that I could find. The other one was like $170, I believe. So yeah, then we got some cable extensions from Okinos. So these are just white sleeve cable extensions to go on with the white build. We got G-Skill Ripjaws M5. These are 6000 CL36. So I know people I'm going to make a video on this too, and I guarantee people are going to comment on, oh, why'd you get CL36 versus CL30? Because for the uses that we paired with the CPU and the graphics card, you wouldn't even be able to tell CL36 versus CL30 in a side-by-side test once you turn off your overlay metrics and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so we went with the white theme for these as well. This is a 2x16 32GB kit. Of course, we got to go with the Thermalright Peerless Assassin. This is a Peerless Assassin, right? I always confuse them with the Phantom Spirit. Give me a second. Yes, Peerless Assassin, the 6 heat pipe one. But we went with the white one, including the white finish on the heatsink itself, as well as RGB white fans. You can't go wrong with this cooler, like almost ever. Even on a budget build, given that this cooler is only 40 bucks, sometimes a little bit cheaper. I forget if I got this for like 37, 38, but it's around 40 bucks. And yeah, you can't go wrong with this. Even if it's oversized, that means you'll run at cooler temps and at lower fan speeds. So yeah, no brainer there. And then we got a 1 terabyte Team Group G50 budget SSD. So we're starting this build off with 1 terabyte worth of storage. And for the power supply, we've got the MSI Mag. This one is the it's the A650BE. So bronze rated, just one of the, not blow up your system, burn your house down, like kind of budgety tier power supply. But not sure if you guys knew, this system's not going to have that high of a power draw, so we're going to be running well below the 650 watt rating anyways. This is only a single 8-pin on the graphics card, and we're not going to be overclocking. We'll be taking advantage of the 13600K's higher clocks than the non-K version, but we've got a B760. So let me take a look at chat real quick. Wait, we're allowed to use Intel again? I know, right, Jason? Am I being brave right now doing an Intel build? Yeah. What's MSRP mean? Sorry. Manufacturer suggested retail pricing. So that's what they recommend it being sold for. I guess there's different types of MSRPs. Like AMD sets an MSRP, but then the AIBs can set their own. But it's just the pricing that it should be, but it's not always that case, as we've seen with other graphics cards, like all of NVIDIA's and then the higher end AMD cards. Maybe some of your sponsors will send you diapers and stuff. Dude, if I start doing some pre-rolls of home products, you'll know why. I could get all the help I can from the companies. So yeah, if I start doing diaper pre-rolls, then I'll somehow incorporate it into what I do on the channel. Angry Yank says, I'm a retired cyber warfare defense instructor from the Air Force, and I was just watching computer builds since I'm a techie and found you, Nob. Glad you found the channel. I appreciate it. Always love, new viewers, especially the ones that attend this stream, which we're here every single week, Wednesday. And yeah, this is where you guys can get a little bit closer of an interaction with me. Are air coolers better than water coolers, or is it that a 50-50? I would say the performance for the price that you pay, air coolers hands down. Not many people need either custom liquid coolers or all-in-one closed loop coolers. And for the price that they cost, you can buy, I guess Thermalright has some cheap ones now, but most people's builds don't require that much cooling, to be honest. Oh wait, did I miss a $5 super chat? Sorry, Techie Tech. Apologize for that. Where was that? Wait, was that more recent? Oh, here it is. It went from best budget TVs to best budget diapers. So the funny thing about that is, we aren't using the most budgety diapers, which is something that me and my wife butt heads on, because she has somewhat severe eczema, and she's very worried for her daughters. And they make diapers with cleaner materials and, you know, like no fragrance and stuff like that, but they come at a premium. So I'm like, bro, can't we just use the Kirkland Signature diapers, which are the budget diapers? So we go back and forth about like what kind of baby products, you know, we're going to use, budget or premium, because all of it goes down the toilet anyways. Formula is expensive. They're eating so much now, and yeah, babies are expensive in general. So having two of them at the same time is doubly expensive. So I'm trying to save where I can. I like those kind of power supplies. Adds a bit of suspense to the builds. Which ones? The super cheap ones? These ones are fine. C tier power supplies. If you can show me some kind of paper or study that shows that like the C tier levels of ripple and all of that damages hardware to any degree that, you know, within the lifespan of a part that's relevant, then I will feel free to read it. But yeah, people have been using crappier power supplies in systems for years with no issues, which this is perfectly fine. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the exploding ones? Yeah, the only time I use exploding power supplies is when I'm doing super jank, like $200, $300 builds. Lythan? Nguyen. I know, big fan of yours for a while, man. I recently just did a new PC in the Lee TU150 with the handle because of your videos and Optimum Tech. I love that case. I still have one. I might do a build in it at some point in the future again and revisit it. Also, congrats on having the kids. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hello, Danny. Did you have a good first Father's Day? Oh, yeah. Happy Father's Day to everyone who is a father or is about to be a father. Happy belated Father's Day. What did we do? We went and visited my stepdad so he can meet the girls for the first time. And then we just kind of chilled. We didn't do anything super spectacular. Melissa wanted to plan stuff, but I usually don't like those kind of celebrations that are centered around me. So I just told her, let's just hang out at home. Is it true that the power supply should be the most expensive part of your build? No, no way. No. Your graphics card, if you're building a gaming PC, should be the most expensive part of your build. Your power supply you should never cheap out on, but people interpret that differently. Some people vastly overspend on their power supply unnecessarily. Like, it doesn't make sense to put a $150 power supply in a $600 build. That's a quarter of the budget. You got to balance your budget. But we're gonna get started with building right now, and I'm gonna be less clicking on your guys' chats, but I'll still be chatting. But all right, as always, we start with these are so springy. I can see why the new people that I've taught to build computers, these levers on these LGA 1700 boards, they're so springy. So CPU is going in. When's the next LAN video? Next month, hopefully, if I can find time to sit down and edit it. But that's the goal. It's usually, so if you guys haven't noticed the what's it called? I guess the scheduling of LAN parties and videos. We have LAN parties pretty much every 6 months. And I release the videos in between those, usually 3 months after the LAN. So a LAN happens, 3 months later, I drop the video for that LAN. And then 3 months later, we have the next LAN, and it goes like that. So 3 months from the last LAN will be in July. So I need to start editing it soon. But we've been super busy, so yeah. Once I start editing, I should be fine. Have you been hitting the gym? The exact opposite. I have not. So if it looks like I've been hitting the gym, then thank you. But no, I haven't lifted weights or hit the gym in a long time. I've been lazy this last year or year plus. Though carrying the baby seats for the two girls, sometimes we don't use the stroller when we go to like appointments and stuff. I just carry both of them, and that is a workout in itself. And holding babies for a long time, especially as they get bigger, is also a workout for the arms in itself. And sometimes when I'm holding them, I just start doing body weight squats. So, there's that. Okay. Yeah, so here's the heatsink for the motherboard, unused M.2 shield. So yeah, this thing is pretty much brand new. What I'm thinking is this was just a return, and because it was bought and returned, they just mark it as pretty much an open box. Nerd is lifting babies now. Honestly, your arms do look formed. That might be from the, you know, once you like start working out, it takes a really long time for your muscles to like completely disappear. So it might just be from that, from when I used to work out more. But I've been very bad about that lately. Which I have no reason to. I admit it. I've been lazy. I have a home gym right outside in my garage. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to find like at least 30 minutes a day to go out there and lift. My goodness. This I've never had this much trouble putting an M.2 SSD in as I am right now. What is going on with this? Oh my goodness. He's fit by baby. He's been eating more dino nuggies, so yeah, he's ripped now. I still have dino nuggies from the April LAN. And I just had some the other day with some taquitos from Costco. He's got... No, their babies aren't that... Well, maybe... I don't know how much the car seats weigh, but the girls right now are probably like 7 to 8 pounds. It's really hard to weigh them at home because I don't have that accurate of a scale. And their next appointment isn't until they're 2 months. They're turning 1 month old tomorrow. But their next doctor's appointment where they use the baby scale and measure their length and stuff is next month at their 2 month checkup. So let's see. So that's on. Oh, I didn't even show the case. And hopefully if anyone asks what the specs are, you guys can fill in the chat because I totally did not have time to prepare. But this is the Okinos Aqua 3. I mean, I would imagine that all my buddies have used this by this point. This is my first time using this. It's a $70 case, comes with 2 or 3 adjustable RGB fans, has a hub, has a ventilated basement section. I'm pretty sure like Toasty Bros and Zach and stuff have used this case before. There are many cases that look like it, but like Montech has something that's similar except with front I/O and power button. This one is just on the side. But yeah, this is all going into this white case. $70 case. It's got the same value proposition as like what Montech puts out around that same price range. All right, thermal right cooler installation. My favorite part every single time. I've installed so many of these coolers, and every single time I still kind of forget like what way the plates and stuff are supposed to be oriented. Like every single time. I don't know why. I can't remember. And this is the Intel one, which I have not been doing as many Intel installations. So LGA 1700. Okino's getting popular, it seems. Yeah. It seems like, I don't know. The case design seems like a ripoff of what Montech already had, which I guess I don't care so long as the price is good and it looks and performs and functions fine. But yeah, it was funny because I just bought these sleeve cable extensions because they were white on white. Like, you know, sometimes you buy the white ones, but they have black connectors. I wanted the white cables on the white connectors, and it just happened to be Okino's. Like, I bought these well ahead of time before I even bought the case. So, yeah, Okino seems like they're popping up with some more stuff and are getting popular. LJ 1700 standoffs. Where's my knife? I saw that case scrolling on Amazon when a friend asked for a PC build list and picked it out, not influenced. I thought it was actually kind of neat, especially since it's affordable. Well, we'll see how it is building in it. It got pretty good reviews, so... okay. So this is AM4. So the Intel one, see, this is where I always mess up. It's like when you put these on, these, I guess, what do you call these? Brackets. They either go this way or this way. And where's the instruction manual? I wish they would like have an arrow to point inwards as to what direction it needs to go. There's no instructions, is there? No, there is. Let me see. Okay, let's see. For Intel, it needs to be angled inwards. Okay. Why white? What's wrong with yellow? The build? Bro, do they even make that many yellow PC parts? And I mean, I know like what? Is it Thermaltake? With their 3D printer looking thing case, those come in yellow, but also this is the up down. Yes, okay. Which wait, Harley or Lily, are you guys in the chat right now? I don't know if you guys are gonna watch this after the fact, but Harley and Lily, are you in the chat as this is being built? Try it without thermal paste. It'll run, and probably at idle it'll be fine. But as soon as the load is put on it, it will overheat. What up, George? that Okino's bootleg Antec Performance P1, is that what it's based off of? Antec Performance P1. Alright, let me make sure this fits before I stick it on, and cannot forget to peel the sticker on the bottom. But and it fits. Okay. So we do the peel. And then, I'll put this up here. We get the thermal paste. This thermal paste is kind of dry. Thermal, right? What's going on here? It's almost like putty. I'll do thermal testing on it. Zach was repping your shirt on his Thirsty Thursday stream, and lots of people asked where he got it from. Thought that was pretty cool of Zach. That is awesome. I need to go say thanks to Zach for that. I do have a new shirt design coming out. I just need to figure out what text I'm going to put on it. I already shared it with you guys in a previous stream. But, yeah, I need to just wrap it up so I can release it. Because it's been years since I've had new merch design. Dobe shirt when? I don't even know what a dad on a budget shirt would be. Okay, and now we get the fans on. Have you tried Thermal Grizzly paste? It's thick as hell with 5 C's. Thick. No, I'm too cheap. Like, Thermal Grizzly paste and their pad and all that stuff. I just use whatever's included for the most part, or my big gigantic tube of Arctic MX4, or is it 5? What is it? What is this tube? It's MX4. But yeah, this is my go-to. I mean, it works. No, but I liked your bin store video. It's kind of interesting. We have tiny ones here in Canada compared to the ones in the US. So I'm trying to look for another one to go to, and I found a couple more. So I'll probably make another video. The other ones I found around me have higher rating, so hopefully that works out better. But I did have one up the street from me that is a bin store, but it's very tiny. It's like the size of a small restaurant. So that one probably won't have PC components in, so I won't go to that one. But I do have larger ones around me, or not around me like directly, but like within an hour of me. So when I get a chance to get a break away from the girls and stuff, I might make another one of those videos, because that was just kind of fun to do. Oh, let me see. I use Arctic Silver paste and Thermal Grizzly pad sometimes. I haven't used Arctic Silver 5 in so long. My very first PC build that I did, I used it, and I may have used it in like a few other follow-up ones. But it's been years since I've used it in my personal rig. Like at least over a decade since I've used Arctic Silver. Okay, the RAM. Not the RAM. Okay. This is the problem every single time. Why did I bother getting the RGB RAM? Why did I not just get the non one? Because it sticks up. Every single time. Well, it's still going to look pretty cool, at least on the outer stick, but the ones that this one is sticking into, or sticking up from, I'll show you guys in a second. The fan is going to have to be moved a little bit, unless we put it on the inside and the back, but then you won't see the RGB from it. Yeah, so we'll see it. This is just the reality of it. Even non-RGB RAM, actually, I've had interference issues. But, yeah. So, RAM height versus fan. Unless you get, like, super, super short height memory sticks, even non-RGB ones often run into it. Is there a parts list for this build? I did not make a parts list. Hopefully someone in chat can tell you the main core components. But it's a 9060 XT paired with a 13600K. I should have done a parts list. I just did not have time. As you guys saw, the stream wasn't even set up when I started it. Because I wanted to be... I would rather start a stream not ready than not press the start button, if that makes sense. I would rather start a stream unprepared and then prepare while you got and talk to you guys than to hold off. Because that would have been another like 15-20 minutes delay. Okay, everything is on the board. The memory, CPU, cooler, M.2, SSD. Let's get the case on the table. Yeah, I have the black version of the Peerless Assassin. Decided on Team Group Vulcan RAM because of the low profile. Didn't it still hit? I could have sworn I've tried using the Thermalright Assassin and Peerless Assassin, and it still hit. And the Phantom Spirit, both of them. It still hit low profile RAM. It would have to be like heat sinkless, I feel, to not hit. Ever so slightly. It didn't hit? This is DDR4 or DDR5? Alex Ruiz says, I bought a broken gaming PC for $150. Had a 5800 X3D, 6650 XT, 32 gigs RAM. Issue was dead SSD. I feel bad now because the guy said Micro Center couldn't fix. Oof. Dang. You could be a good Samaritan and go back and return the PC to him. If you really feel that bad. But probably not. You ended up getting a good deal because of someone's lack of knowledge, I guess, and troubleshooting ability. And Micro Center dropping the ball, I guess, on that one. Let me clear up my space real quick. Oh, man. Oh, this is going to be a busy rest of the week. Because I got to get this PC set up. And then I got to benchmark it for the video. Record the stuff. And hopefully get this out as soon as possible to the customer. Nope, have you tried thermal pads on any PCs or nah? You're talking about the... When you say thermal pad, I'm guessing you don't mean like thermal pads on GPUs. You mean like thermal paste replacement, right? I have not tried it on any of them. How much do they cost? Aren't they like 15 bucks or something around that price range? It's just... And you can only use it at one PC at a time. Like, this tube, I don't remember how much this costs. Maybe like 12 bucks. I think I bought it on sale too, like, or during Prime Day or something. I could put together so many PCs with this, so it's just hard for me to... I guess I should do it just to try it out, but it just doesn't seem worth the money. Okay, so are these breakaways? These are breakaway style. So here's where we can see the budget in the case, which is fine, honestly. Like, I have so many replacement PCIe, I guess, slot covers that in white that it doesn't matter. But these are the breakaway ones, which help to reduce the cost. And of course, this thumb screw is put on so tight that I actually have to use a tool to loosen it. Let me make sure I'm lining up where the graphics card goes in, because I always goof that up. And dude, look at how well the graphics card fills out this case. One thing I dislike about mid-towers these days is there's so much awkward space in the front because of radiators and whatever the heck else. Like when you get a graphics card that is put in and it basically goes up to the front, either panel or glass, it just looks so filled and so much nicer. I wish they would take mid-towers and bring them back a bit. They make them way too wide. One of my pet peeves with modern cases. Because they assume everyone wants to put a push-pull radiator in the front. And they build for that. There's a video there for when stat eventually runs out. Something like, is MX4 still the best? And you compare a few. Doing thermal paste testing, it's so tedious because of, you know, every time you test, first of all, you have to like heat soak the CPU and make sure you're like testing it for long enough and all that stuff per thermal paste. And then you got to take it apart, clean it, put the next thermal paste on, all for like a couple of degrees, which I'm so thankful for the different review outlets that do that. But my goodness, that sounds like some of the most boring like testing processes ever. Oh man, okay, it is a pretty tight fit up top. Not sure if you guys can see it, but because there are fans up there, I need to make sure I have all the wires kind of running to where I need them to go ahead of time, such as this extension cable. There we go. And gotta put the combs on, even though nobody sees that one in the top. Nobody sees that one in the top left, man. Nobody. To anyone out there who uses cable extensions, you guys like usually put it to the like 8-pin CPU power, right? But then after you do that, do you always realize like, bro, nobody even sees that. It feels like almost a waste of time doing it. Yes, exactly. We need to make Project Farm do it because, my goodness, the types of testing that he does for the amount of products he does, it's kind of ridiculous. Project Farm wasn't at LTX, was he? That'd be cool if he was. I like that guy's content. Hey, what's up, Exits? Mike Brazone says 13600K and 9060 XT 16 gigabyte. That's okay. Did we ever get Harley or Lily chiming in on the chat? Oh, okay. No, he gave a thumbs up to the link, so hopefully they're watching. Because this build is for them. Alright, pulling the motherboard out. Give me 1 second. This GPU is not going in for a while, so I'm going to put it out to the side while I get all these cables routed. The RGB, man, the RGB. Gotta get this fan splitter on here. Is everything in the shot? Here, let me move this over so you guys can see. Hooking up the tower cooler's fans with the splitter, because there's 2 fans on it. My extensions are combed, including the CPU ones. Yeah, I'm like using the extensions and I'm combing them, but my goodness, does it feel like what's the point? Because you can't even see it. But you do it because you personally know that it's there. And because you bought a cable kit that came with the extension cable. I think the CPU one is the only one I need to make sure that I get in there. Hopefully I don't have to pull this motherboard out and put it back in like a million times because I forgot stuff. Very easy to forget what you need to connect until you screwed everything down and put it in. Standoffs. Thermal pads are good for testers if you swap out parts a lot. It's yes, you're right. It is less work and less time spent cleaning thermal gunk off of parts. I don't do a ton of CPU testing where I need to do that. Like usually, if I'm testing something, I'm testing it to make sure it works. Yeah, CPU testing and CPU benchmarking does not sound fun at all. Plugging CPU power after putting in the motherboard and top fans is a mistake I always make, though. Yeah, I make those mistakes often, too, because I don't always, like, super pre-plan. Like, I don't sit there for like 30 minutes and visualize and pre-plan the build. Most of my builds, I just go at it and I figure, you know, especially if it's with parts that I haven't worked with yet, I just kind of figure it out along the way. So, and especially with more recently, man, I'm about to just remove these top fans. They are such a pain right now. I will put them back in, but they are totally in the way right now. They're just like in the way people. I'm excited to test this, though, and do the benchmarks, because this would be my first time playing with the 9060 XT. I do have another one that I'm going to do other content with, but just to see it in a build and to see its capabilities, even though I know it performs like a 7700 XT, which I do have on hand, still. The combs still help as well to keep the cables together, yes, instead of making them go all crazy. Alright, how long are these fan cables? Not that long, are they? Micro ATX is still the best form factor. But sometimes you're working in tighter quarters. But then it's so much more compact on your desk. The build looks filled out better. If you're shipping it, it doesn't weigh as much. The motherboards are more inexpensive. Okay, got those out of the way. Got that in. When is the next LAN party? October. It's going to be a very special one. It's wrapping up 10 years of LAN party stories. Wrapping up the 10th year, I should say. So I'm trying to plan some stuff so it's a pretty special and fun one. Talking to companies and sponsors and things like that. I'll get these fans in later. It's just gonna take them completely out. Let's see how long it takes me to build this. I would say streaming a build, it takes me like 3 times as long to do than if I were just to do it without being on a stream. Okay, let's get these standoffs in. What's the best benchmark software, says Evo Bayer. There's no best. There are ones that I like to use that are quick and easy, like Cinebench for CPUs and 3D Mark, just the whole 3D Mark suite, which isn't free. Firestrike is free. I don't remember what is from 3D Mark is free anymore, but then there's, what is it? PC Mark. And I still use Unigine Superposition to this day. That's an 8-year-old benchmark that I still use when I'm testing parts. Barbarino says, hey Danny, building a new PC tomorrow with a 9060 XT and a 7600X. Very solid combination of parts. I like that pairing. Nice. And those are very modern components, very capable. That's kind of like your pretty standard mid-range build, I would say, right now. Like a Ryzen 5, AM5 with the 9060 XT. Okay, standoffs are in. Now it's just lining up all the standoffs because sometimes the tolerances of usually the case. I wouldn't say it's often that the tolerances of the motherboard are off. Usually, oh, interesting. I didn't even think of this. But look, because we're doing a white build, Okinos included silver screws, which does kind of look nicer than black screws. It's a very minor kind of detail, but it's nice that they did that. Good on Okinos. Coalition Gaming Chris says, did you try Stellar Blade free demo? I showed my wife. She was mad she couldn't change her makeup despite all the different outfits. I have not yet. I think I'm going to do, when I benchmark this system, I'm going to test the demo. Yeah, I specifically was going to do that because you had mentioned it the other week. Whoops, I got the wrong screw. Angry Yank Garage says, been doing LAN parties every year for 30 years. Dang. You got us beat. We're probably at around our 20-year mark doing LAN parties, me and my friend group. 10 years of it being documented on the channel, but we started LANing around the World of Warcraft time frame in high school. So Lithin, sorry, I keep butchering it if it's Lithin versus Lithin to win, says you should start doing shorts. I was doing shorts for a while, but the shorts editor, the dedicated shorts editor that I had, something came up, so then he wasn't able to do shorts for me anymore, and then doing shorts manually, it's kind of time consuming. Like, for the people who are newer to the channel, I do everything by myself. I shoot all the videos, I do all the testing, all the building of the PCs, all the script writing, all the editing of every video. None of that's outsourced. And then I tried to outsource shorts at least, and it worked for like a month or so, and then something came up, and then the editor couldn't do it anymore. So I guess I'm still looking for a shorts editor, and if you're trying to, and basically the shorts editor I'm looking for, I want just someone to be able to cut down these streams into more digestible shorts. So, and then some of my long form videos too, to make them into shorts. So it has to be like, you have to have an eye for it though, you know. You don't necessarily have to watch every stream completely, but to be able to skim through a stream, find like a conversation topic and be like, okay, this can be a short, cut it up, add the captions and stuff. Like, ideally, someone can do that in, like, 20 to 30 minutes or something. And then, per stream, make, like, you know, anywhere from 5 to 10 shorts. And I stream every week, so that's, like, a ton of shorts content that could be made. But yeah, it's not that I don't want to do shorts. Also, it's not as simple as just doing shorts and then your channel becomes like Brett or Zach's. I know plenty of people who have started doing shorts and have been doing it for a while, and they did not have the explosive growth. You got to be doing that for like a while. And Zach and Brett have been grinding that for a long... Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at this. How? How? I just put all of the screws in too. Oh. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish this build on the stream, to be honest. Actually, no. Once this is in, we get the power supply in, the graphics card in. It's pretty quick. It's like I always say, the thing that takes the longest when building a PC is screwing in all the darn screws. Whether it be for the fans, the AIOs, the coolers, the motherboard standoffs. Lol, cut the cable. I could cut it and just use... No, I'm not going to do that. I do have extra RGB fans, but I want to use these Okanos fans. I'm not going to cut the cable. I just got to take off all these standoffs. Here's what I'm going to do. This is what I usually do, too, for streams. I usually install 4 of the standoff screws initially to get the board set in place. And then after all the testing and all that stuff, and I make sure the build is ready to go, problem free, then I go back in and then I finish off the rest of the standoff screws. That way, we avoid problems like this, where if we do have to take out any parts or the motherboard, you're not going through and wasting your time doing it with 9 screws when the build is, you know, still questionably ready or not. But thanks for keeping me company and sane while I'm doing this. The computer guy says, dang it, Danny, not again. Hey, when was the last time that happened? Also, my goodness. Where is the other... Oh, is this long enough? Maybe this one would work. Got 2 screwdrivers going in here. Okay. We good? No cables caught? Nothing, okay. How many shorts per week / day? I would probably just do like 3 shorts a week. I don't like the way that Zach and Brett be grinding out 7 days a week, like 2 to 3 shorts per day. That works out to be what, like 14 to 21 shorts on top of grinding out normal content. That's crazy. That's like, and I know they have full teams and stuff. I don't make enough money to hire on like a full team. However much money you guys think I make way less. I'm telling you right now. And it's not even just a fact of, oh, if you hired someone, you could pump out more content. That's not how that works. Because Zach and Brett have people on site. And they have people that they trust, either that can come to their home or at like they have like offices rented out. And my brain just doesn't work like that, where it's not like if I hire people, all of a sudden I can make 2 to 3 videos a week. That's not how that works at all. Not my brain anyways, unfortunately. Okay, we got that in. Ooh, cable management is going to be fun. Let me get these connectors into the front. Yeah, definitely. No, shorts right now is such a good way for growth. One of the annoying things, and this doesn't apply to Zach and Brett because they actually make their shorts, but what I've noticed in YouTube Shorts, and I've talked about this before, is there's so many channels growing from YouTube Shorts that are just completely like AI slop. You've seen them. You've scrolled through YouTube Shorts before. You've seen like some AI robotic voice with captions over some video that was stolen from somebody else explaining like some construction thing or like some cooking some meal. That is like so rampant on YouTube right now. And these channels that are completely AI run, faceless shorts channels are like blowing up like crazy. And I don't know. To me, that's like not that's not the direction I want YouTube to be going, for people to just be AI slop content farms. But there are channels that have gotten like in the span of a year like a million subs just from doing that kind of stuff. How are you going to set the fan config in this build? Honestly, I think I'm just going to... Alright, here's a secret, guys. Fan configurations for the majority of builds are not as serious as people make them out to be. I think having even... So aesthetically, having double intake from the top would look better because you could see the full RGB face of the fan. What some people would probably do is flip this fan so that the brace is showing. So it's intaking right here in the front and then exhaust here and here. Before even testing, I'm going to go out and say that the temperature difference is going to only be a couple of degrees. And it's not even going to be a problem anyway. So I might keep it at the stock configuration with both fans facing kind of like this downwards. Because when you're looking at the build, that way you could see these faces, you know. But I'm calling it right now. This cooler and where's the 9060 XT, these are so overkill already that even if I put no fans in here, this build will run fine temperature wise. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. Why such a small case, lol? Because micro ATX is the best form factor, that's why. Micro ATX is my favorite form factor, and it just looks so cool when it's filled out with all these big parts in it. Oh yeah, I was doing the front panel connectors and stuff. Gotta thank AdsRock for making GPUs are actually or close to MSRP. I agree. See, power switch, reset button. Oh, these are LEDs. I hate plugging these in. And what is HD audio? I don't look at computer, I use my computer. That is true. But this is going to a 13-year-old girl who definitely will be looking at her computer. And I think this is her first kind of like nice high-end computer. High-ish end compared to what she was using before. So I think she's going to look at her pink and white computer a lot. The shorts are just boring and a clear form of brain rot, says a la carte Sparta. What, you talking about the AI generated ones or all shorts in general? I find myself getting lost just like scrolling shorts. So it clearly, the strategy of shorts works, but I don't know. I feel like, see, the thing is, like, for my buddies who do shorts, like Toasty Bros are pumping out a bunch of shorts too. They also have a long form channel for people to go to, but the channels that I feel like that only do shorts and don't have long form as well, like, do you make any connection with your viewers and stuff like that? With Mr. Yeaster, he does both long form and shorts. So the channels that get to like the millions of followers and stuff, shorts only, it never seems like they have as close of a connection with the ones that do that in long form. But that just might be an incorrect assumption. All right, power supply. And I need the cables. What cables? We're gonna need a SATA for the hub. SATA for the hub. Gonna need PCIe. Actually, what's already included in this semi-modular? Hey, what's up, Bri? I have been well. Hope you've been well. Okay, so we got CPU, 24. And get the PCIe in. Pink RGB will look nice in the build. Yeah, I'm hoping I can find some design that's like pink and white and not just pink. Because when you do all pink on a white build, it just makes the whole build pink. I want it so that it's like white and pink mixed LEDs. Okay, so this. And then SATA. Yeah, this is a very simple build. Not many cables needs to be plugged in. I'm going to have to tuck stuff away though because of the extensions, but that's fine. Should be plenty of room to be doing that. Fans face down. Oh, I should probably put this closer. SATA. Shorts are when you go to the toilet, same with Insta Reels. I wish I still had my original Instagram account, but you know, Instagram wanted to just delete it and have no way of recovering it. All those years of... I didn't post a ton, but I did post since the beginning of my channel. Plus, like, all the DMs I had with other people and companies, as well as, I mean, I had like a few thousand followers on it. All gone. Alright, now we start tucking. And I'm going to cable manage. I'm not going to cable manage on stream. That's going to take too long. And I'm going to need a break before I do the cable management. We're just going to get stuff plugged in. Because we need to make sure this power's on. And works with no problem. Okay, there's that. There's the CPU. Yeah, I will make this look nice and clean off stream. But we got a time limit. I have family over helping out right now, but they can't be here all night. Okay, I mean, we got the power supply in. I'm even questioning putting the fans in. Actually, I gotta put the fans in so we can get the RGB. Got the SATA connect power on to the hub. Reset LED switch. I need to plug that in. Chico, dang, I didn't get a notification. And you have the bell turned on? It's okay. That's been a thing over the years with me and YouTube. People telling me they don't get the notifications for stuff even though they have the bell on and are subscribed. People telling me that YouTube has unsubscribed them from me. Maybe they think they're bots or something and they clean house. But let's see, reset switch. But glad you're here, Chico. Good to see you again. Okay, that plugged in. Here's the 8-pin. Let me get one cable comb on it. What up, Gone ASF? That's supposed to be Gone as AF. Did anyone see if Harley/Lily was in the chat? If you guys are in the chat, I apologize for missing you. I'm trying to get this build done, and the chat's moving at a moderate pace, so that if you guys did say something, I have missed it multiple times. What case is that? It is the Okinos Aqua 3. Micro ATX. I used to only buy EVGA GPUs, but we know what happened there, lol. So I'm getting the Gigabyte 9060 XT. If I got the 90 series AMD cards for my own personal build, I would have to get it in a 2-fan variant, because 3 fans just will not fit in my case, in my ITX case. Where's that RGB header? Is the Radeon RX 6500 XT still good? I don't think anyone ever called that a good card. For the right price, it could be usable, but that would have to be a pretty low price. 6500 XT in recent years is one of the most negatively met cards to be released. Okay. We're just gonna use this hub as is. Yes, 6 series Radeons are still decent. 6500 XT specifically, not so much, because of the restricted PCIe lanes. You get reduced performance if you're not on, what is it, Gen 5 or Gen 4? I forget. But if you're using it with old hardware, older CPUs and stuff, you will be met with reduced performance. See, what I've been taking the night shift, taking care of the girls. So what this is going to be is me up at 4 a.m. cleaning up this cable management while the girls are hopefully sleeping. Because we ain't got that kind of time on stream. What time is it right now? How are we doing on time, actually? I started about, I would say 30 minutes into the stream. So at 5:30, right now it is 6. Oh yeah, so we're about an hour in. Not too bad. We can boot it up soon if I just say screw the fans and worry about them later. But I think we can get the fans in. It's just the backside's gonna look ugly. This is what the backside's looking at right now, before all the cable management. Which, I mean, depending on how you look at it, it could be seen as horrible or not too bad. But all right, let me get these top fans back in here. What's up? Hold her like how? Oh. I mean, I guess I could do that, but if she starts fussing, that's gonna be a bad time. Once I'm done with the build, I'll come up and grab Lexi so she can say hi. My sister-in-law is here. She's helping. And my mother-in-law will also be here as well. She's sleeping over tonight. So we got reinforcements, which, my goodness, is needed. Some of the nights where the girls are just crying and won't stop even after being fed and diaper changed and being held, it's just like, it takes a toll. I would say that. We've had some very stressful, frustrating nights in the last week. Okay, let me put these fans back in. Wait, you're a dad now? Since when? Have you not seen the community post? Since they're turning 1 month old tomorrow. But yes, my wife gave birth to twins 1 month ago. Twin girls. I will bring one of them down. One of them was at the beginning of the stream. Mia, the younger one. And the other one, I will try to see if I can bring her down later. Once we get this build at least turned on. I'm not going to like go through the Windows install. I got to do that off stream because that's just like tediously boring. But I just want to be able to power this on, get into BIOS, and know that I've plugged in everything correctly and that it powers on with no issues as of right now. And then I'll get to benchmarking and testing it, and then this will be in a video. Okay. This is why Corsair IQ Link would be amazing, because you just get rid of all these extra cables. But you know what? When you're on a budget, you make it work. Okay, here we go. So we will get these plugged in. And if I did this correctly, when we power this on and get the graphics card in, it will turn on and light up. And we'll just use this built-in hub for now to control the RGB. I will plug in an actual... what the heck? What is this? Why is there two? What the hell, man? What is going on? Why do these fans have two? Well, it looks to be two, unless there's different RGB components that I'm not seeing. There seems to be more ARGB plugs than there are fans. Yes, there's 4 of them. So what other... Oh. Duh. The cooler has its... Yes, never mind. I'm not a smart person. I forgot. I was just counting the case fans. But the cooler has 2 fans, each with ARGB connectors as well. So, yes, there's that. Okay. And all these kind of like can daisy chain together, so should be good. All right, I think I got all the RGB hooked up. It's not pretty. I'll clean it up later. But I want to get the graphics card in and get this thing powered on. Okay. And for the last piece, I do need to plug in all the fans as well, but again, I'll also do that later. So let's go in here. I need to peel all the plastic. What am I doing? All right, we get a plastic peel. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to hear it. If I can even find the... There, here we go. What else? Oh. Little bits and pieces still. Got all that. And then the back one is a lot nicer. It should come off on one as one sheet. There we go. Okay. Is that all the plastic? Then this Stream Elements, I'm just noticing, is putting up old build specs from a previous old build. So ignore the Stream Elements message. It is wrong. Okay. Let me get this. The fans aren't going to spin, but they're going to light up. I will route the fan cables. When the time comes. Okay. Let's get this plugged in. Oh, I gotta pre-twist the extensions too. Yeah. Okay. It is not liking the direction I put it in at. I put it in upside down. Which is fine for now. I'll untangle it later. Let's get this in. Alright. This is how we do things around here. We don't double check. We just turn it on out of confidence that we did it right the first time. What's the over-under that... My goal is to get into BIOS, to have the cooler fan spinning. I know the case fans aren't going to spin. The case fans aren't going to spin, but they should light up RGB. And then the graphics card should power on and should do its thing. And let me get the monitor. But the goal is BIOS. Alright, I think I should be good. Hopefully I plugged in the power button switch correctly. Let me move this to the side so we can see the monitor. Okay. First time catching Nobe stream, says Nines Eisner. What up? Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. We should be good. Power switch. We are seeing the motherboard light up. RGB. Let's see. CPU, yep. Pretty confident I got it right. Okay. Sweet. RGB is set to white right now. Let me see if I can show this. Let me see. Droid cam. Okay. So we should be able to control these fans. I'm just going to set it to rainbow puke mode right now just because... Huh. Did I not plug in the hub correctly? Oh, did I plug in the SATA? All the RGB should be controllable because I plugged into the case's hub. I'm going to eventually plug it into the motherboard so it can be controlled from there. Because the motherboard and the RAM and the graphics card is rainbowy, I want to make these fans also rainbowy. Oh, here we go. Wait, did it go into BIOS? Hey, here we are. Okay, 13600K, 32 gigs of memory. And then the default, gotta set the XMP to the 6000 CL36. But the build is alive. Let me stand it up and see if I can fix the RGB. Alright. And people are asking, like, why such a small case? I don't know, man. I think this looks way better than it would have in a full-size tower. Look at how nicely... Oh. No. What is up with my connection? But yeah, look at how nicely the parts fill up this case. There's not that much room from here to the front. The graphics card is like goes very close to the front. The cooler is nice and beefy in it. Yeah. All right, let me let me see if I can get this RGB hub to do what it's supposed to do. Is it because I didn't plug in the SATA? Let me see. Let me see. I think that would be the reason why. No, I did plug in the SATA power. So, do I need to switch a mode on this at all? There's that. Oh, maybe I just have to hold the button. That's what you usually have to do. Oh, wait. Oh, it's because I actually plugged in the reset. That's why. Okay, give me one moment. I'm going to power this down. I always hated the motherboard power cable. It's so ugly. Wait, which one? You're talking about like the 24 pin or the motherboard power cable? I think once you put an extension on it with combs, it looks really good. Where is... Wait. So what goes on here? This says reset LED switch. Oh, if you don't plug it in... Okay, that's why. You have to leave it unplugged. Totally forgot about that. Okay, we're going to try this again. Alright. Now, when we do this, everything should be rainbow when it turns on. Or maybe I have to like press the settings to change it. Nope. I need to figure out how the hub works. But as is, I think the build's looking pretty clean. Not so much on the backside. We'll clean this up. It'll look nice and tidy. You guys will see the finished backside in the video. Ooh, and then I will save the peel for the recipient of the PC. I had to peel the graphics card because once you get it in, it's kind of a pain to peel. But I will leave all the panel peels, like the glass panels, on here. So... Alright, now I need to install Windows 11 on this thing and benchmark it. So I'm gonna change camera angles for now. Let me go back up to here because you guys can see me decently well here. Big honking air cooler like a muscle car. I want to figure out though, on stream, the RGB hub that's included in this case. So what's going on here? So this oh, I gotta plug this into the hub, I bet. maybe. Yeah, so this is the reset switch from the case. Should have to plug it into the hub. But there's no 2-pin. Oh, there it is. I see it. Aha. Yeah. So that's what I was missing. Let me see. This should just be a... the direction shouldn't matter. So it's just a flip of a switch. Alright, sorry. Third time's a charm. I swear, this is the one. This is the one where we get the colors right. Sorry to debate you guys multiple times. Alright. Huh. Alright. So then we press this. Oh, there it is. So we've got the rainbow unicorn. Where's... not that one. I'm going to use the motherboard software because there's always better. But, is there a pink in here? Like a default pink? Yeah, see, you can't just go with pink only on a white case because it makes everything too pink. You gotta do like a pulsing white and pink. So, yeah, I'll get that figured out on the software side of things once I install Windows and get all of that in. But, yeah, this thing is running so quiet. It's hard to... Here, I have my heater on down here, but... I know it's not under load right now, but I'm thinking the CPU and the graphics cards are gonna run during a gaming load really, really quiet. So, all right, we're good. Okay, let me get back to here real quick, and I probably missed a ton of chat, so let me get caught up in chat real quick. Most PC problems are between the PC and the chair. Yes, indeed. Joe Pinnacle. It is user error for the most part. Let's see. Yo, what cooler would you recommend for if you have a 9800 X3D? At that point, I would probably go for a 420. Wait, a LANcool 216? What's the max size on that? Browser scene. Let me see. LANcool 216. What is the max radiator support this thing has? It's 3 fan up top, but is it 360 or 420? Yeah, if I was getting a high end of a chip as a 9800 X3D, that is one situation where I would probably just go AIO. Even though I'm a fan of air coolers for the most part. Water cooling, what do we got up top? Okay, so it only goes 360, but still. Yeah. Because 360s, especially from like Thermalright or Arctic, they're actually more reasonably priced. It's when you go like Corsair NZXT where you're spending a lot more, I guess, more dollar per performance unit. I'm going to turn off the stream elements real quick. Give me 1 second. Because it decided to finally work. Chatbot, chat module timers. Okay, bam. We should be good now. I got my 7500F for $120 and mobile for $96. Right now, just waiting on the RAM to go on sale. Amazon's cheaper, while there are some too locally, but they are 20 to 30 more expensive here. Are you in the US? 96? What board did you get for an AM5? Are there like sub $100 B650s? I haven't looked in a while. I was more recently looking for white ones, and they did not have any that cheap. Air coolers don't make noise unless you are using a cheap one. Air coolers don't make noise. The fans attached to them make noise. But then when you have an AIO, you have the fans attached to the radiator that make noise, as well as the water gurgling potentially around the pump or in the tubes, at the barbs, at the radiator, etc. So yeah, air coolers. If you're not running like really high end, crazy overclock and stuff, I feel like air coolers are the way to save money as well as get good performance out of it, and not have to worry about potential failures down the road because. I don't know. Have you guys had many air coolers or know of anyone who have really had air coolers fail on them? Maybe the fans fail, but fans are cheap. You can get Thermalright or whatever Arctic fans to replace them. But the actual heatsink itself, I know people who are probably using Hyper 212 Evos from Cooler Master for 10 plus years with no issues. Compared to AIO radiators, pumps and stuff like that. 10 years. Do I know anyone with an AIO? No, usually people when they upgrade the AIO because the newer tech with the screens and stuff and fancy RGB. I don't know anyone who has actually kept the same AIO for like 10 plus years. Reluctant Hero says, I'm of the opinion that people go overboard when cooling the 7800 XTD and 9800 XTD. You can do 240 AIO and dual tower coolers. They're very well managed in terms of thermals. I think it also depends on what your tolerance is for noise levels. Like for the people who potentially want to run like really quiet, which I mean, that's kind of counterintuitive maybe because of the pump noise. But in terms of running the fans at the lowest speeds, I think for especially gaming loads too, because the CPUs it's very often not all core all thread workloads. CPUs don't tend to run as hot during games in most scenarios for most hardware. I say most because yes, there are some games that will completely wreck your CPU, but that's not the majority of them out there. But yeah, I do agree I think people overspend not only in coolers but in fans. Like my goodness, why am I so orange? I've been seeing this trend on Reddit lately. People obsessing over how many fans they have in their system and what direction they're facing. And they go to Reddit and they ask, hey, is my fan configuration right? Which is so strange for me because the only person who can answer the question for you if your fan configuration is correct given your specific set of hardware, your specific fans, your specific case, CPU, all that stuff, and the combination of them working together is yourself. Some stranger on the internet could give you some rule of thumbs as to what direction they should face, but it literally takes less than a couple of minutes to unscrew your fans, flip them, run a thermal test while it's still running, flip other fans, and find the best configuration for you. Like, you don't need to run to the internet and ask people, hey, is this picture of my PC with the fan orientation correct? You can test it yourself in like less than half an hour, very easily. Unless you have like 14 fans in your system, which is overkill. At that point, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, people just obsess over the smallest things that do not matter. They give it way too much mind. Falcon Northwest only uses like 4 fans total with excellent cooling. I think people buy a lot of fans because either they're unaware and, they see like these high-end YouTubers and, people building high-end systems just load PCs up with fans and they think they need to do the same thing too. Or they just want it for the aesthetics, which if you're doing it for the aesthetics, that's fine. Like, as long as you're kind of like spending money to not improve performance, but you're just making it look more ridiculous with more fans. But yeah, you don't need. I think again, I don't want to make a blanket statement, especially for like the super high end systems that are being overclocked and are running like really hot and are used for like specific workloads that fully stress the components. But I would say the like majority of gamers with mid to midish high range end systems, 1 exhaust and 2 to 3 intakes is all anybody really needs to keep their PCs at reasonable temperatures. Sure, you could get it a little bit cooler by adding in more fans and bigger radiators and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, like, if my PC is running below like the high 70s, so if it's running at like 75 degrees or lower on CPU and GPU under gaming loads, I think I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not going to spend extra money to like try to drop those temperatures a few degrees. To me, that's just not worth the stress and the money. Some folks can't do all that, law. Some folks can barely navigate Windows, law. But the thing is, and I've noticed with Reddit, is that people give wrong advice all the freaking time. My days now, like nowadays, when I spend time on Reddit, it's me like pushing back on the misinformation and incorrect information in the PC hardware space. There's so many people who confidently are wrong about things, and then I go in there and I set them straight. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. Let's make every fan an intake and see if the case explodes. It won't. You could do a coin flip for each fan orientation in your build. You should try this actually. Flip a coin for each fan, and like heads is intake, tails exhaust, and just randomly do it and then test your PC. I guarantee you that the temps will be fine. Guarantee you. Law, I had less than ideal fan configuration for over 7 year PC still worked. Yeah, it's fine. It's not that serious. And I can't get into cases with 8 to 12 ARGB fans, to each their own, but that's not for me. Yeah. I think for me, ideal is like this build right here, right? It has, including the cooler, it has 5 fans. I think that's like a perfectly good amount. Like, there is space for 2 more fans at the bottom, but for what? The graphics card naturally pulls air. So even if you don't have fans here forcing air into it, just because there is ventilation here and ventilation along the entire power supply basement, air will naturally be pulled in via these fans and via all this configuration, because these are set to exhaust, this is set to exhaust, these pull this way. So naturally, even without fans at the bottom, airflow will come up through this because it's kind of like a vacuum. So yeah, it's not that serious. Good thing I don't use Reddit. I would go bald. MFGA, make fans great again. MLFGA, make less fans great again. Less time the air's in the case, the better is the golden rule. Which I think, if you're talking about it from like a thermodynamics or like the physics standpoint and the science behind it, I don't disagree. But when it comes to actual like temperatures you're gonna get under gaming loads for the majority of like the mid to middle-ish, upper mid-tier components that most people with, you know, reasonable budgets have, you're talking about a few degrees difference. And between 72 and 75 degrees, there's no harm in optimizing for that, but the way that people are almost like, it seems like they're losing sleep over it, constantly posting on Reddit, is this the optimized way? Is this the optimized way? Like, bro, we're talking about 3 degrees here on a system that wasn't even overheating in the first place. Just enjoy the build. And feel free to tinker around and play with it, but you should do that on your own terms and not constantly be asking the internet when they don't have the PC in front of them to be able to test. Having static air pressure is what kills temp. Yeah, but so long as you have like some fans, the air will be moving. What the heck? How do we have over 200 people? Have we had that much watching the stream this entire time? I haven't even been watching the numbers because we've been focusing on the build. But if we have that many people, there must be new people here. Maybe there's an influx because the recent video did pretty well, and I think there's new subscribers and viewers from that. But anyways, hello, my name is Danny, and this is the Nerd on a Budget channel. alongside the long form content and some short form content that I post on the channel. We are here every single week, Wednesday at 5 p.m. PST for the most part. Unless something else comes up in real life, we're here pretty much every single week, like 99% of the time at the same time. So if you guys like just hanging out, talking PC tech, sometimes watching me build stuff or giving advice or like looking through builds and price deal hunting and stuff, feel free to join in the following weeks. But thank you for being here today. I brought some viewers, Danny. Thank you, Angry Yank Garage. I appreciate it. Is it okay to mix and match laptop RAM? It used to be a thing with older like DDR3 and DDR2 memory that they said do not mix RAM like brands, speeds, timings, etc. Like you always want to use the same ones from the same like from the same kits that were sold together because you would have stability issues or it just won't work at all. I've kind of found that not to be true for like DDR4, DDR5. You can mix and match for the most part, and the RAM is usually smart enough to downclock and run at this lower clock speeds and timings of the denominator stick. So it's not advised. There's not many reasons why you should do that unless you're like doing an upgrade and slotting in more RAM. But I've found mixing and matching RAM for the most part to be fine. It's kind of like old advice to say that that doesn't work. Welcome to the OnlyFans chat. Yeah. Temperatures are only as good as the ambient temperature in the room. That's a good point. So depending on where you live, if you live in like the desert or in some parts of the world where it's hot as F, then yeah, that would be because you're taking that air and you're passing it through, so your parts can't get cooler than the air that is surrounding it and that is passing through that to accept the heat exchange. With Windows 10 end of support, the PC used market is starting to crash rush off. Yeah, but you could use old hardware and do that. What's it called? The workaround. The Rufus bootable media maker thing. You could do the hardware bypass on it. I don't know long term the implications. Like, sure, right now, with how Microsoft is, how they release Windows 11 and how it's updated so far, you can take 10-year-old hardware, do the bypass, and get Windows. I actually have a system that's like over 10 years old that I just put Windows 11 on. It works right now, but in terms of how vulnerable and like the security risks that you're taking and all of that, I haven't read much literature as to like what the actual risks are or what the chances of like Microsoft ending that support in the future. But for now, it works. Couple of registry commands, no need for Rufus. Yeah, Rufus just makes it like just more convenient. Just look up Windows 11 bypass on YouTube, and there's plenty of tutorials on it. So what AIO would you recommend besides the Arctic liquid freezer? I mean, if money isn't an issue, I've never had issues with like Corsair or NZXT coolers. Arctic is kind of like, I would go with an Arctic and then put the fans that you want on if you care about aesthetics. But Arctic is kind of the like performance per dollar king. That and probably Thermalright, though I have not used a Thermalright AIO yet. Because I'm just trying to wean off of just using AIOs unless I kind of have to. But Thermalright AIOs are kind of surprisingly super cheap. They're like dirt cheap. I just don't know. I feel like they just haven't been doing AIOs for long enough to know of like their reliability. But Thermalright as a company as a whole with their air coolers and fans They have like really good or not long standing, but like very good reputation, great products. But AIOs is just something that I don't know. It needs to exist for long enough so that the failures do pop up. Do you set up PBO for your recipients? Yeah. I usually enable it, but not for this build because this is an AMD build. But yeah, so usually I go through and the BIOS to make sure like things like okay, resizable bars enabled, set the XMP or AMP depending on if it's Intel or AMD. I don't really do like manual overclocks. If that's something they want to do, they can like mess around with it. If they wanted the parts, they have the option to in the future. But I'm just not a huge fan of, especially for other people's builds. And I'm not charging like an upcharge for the services of like tuning and stuff like that. Yeah, I just enable PBO and just leave it at that. Most of the time, for the people who are gaming, the graphics card ends up being the bottleneck anyways, and the difference in their like how they're gonna enjoy the PC will be negligible. So yeah, I don't do a ton of overclocking when I do builds for people. How many people have you heard say air cooler leaked on their motherboard? Exactly. If anything, the heat pipes they might fail over time, but that's about it. All right, we're 2 hours of the stream. We got the build done. I'm gonna see if Lexi is awake, and then bring her down to play while we end out the stream. Because yeah, these days the streams can't be 3 to 4 hours anymore because got other things to tend to. But I will be right back. So enjoy this for now. All right, we are back with Ms. Lexi, who I think just went down. I'm sorry. So we met Mia at the start of the stream. Here's Lexi. Want to say hi to everyone. She is going down for a nap. Hi. She's so cute. She makes all these little cute squealing noises. I'm sorry. I'm just interrupting your sleep with these bright lights. I haven't seen you for like 2 hours. I've been upstairs, or I've been down here building a PC. But this is the older of the two by 2 minutes. Hello? But yeah. They turn 1 month old tomorrow, so they've gotten so big in this 1 month. They are growing so dang fast. Okay, I leave you alone. I take you back upstairs. Actually, I'll just hold her here and chill. She can get used to my voice more. Do you think a UPS is worth the money? Yes. I actually bought a second UPS. I bought a Golden Mate one. If you buy one, try to buy the LifePo battery ones, because they last longer. Don't buy the old school UPSs that have like way more limited on off cycles and recharge cycles. Golden Mate makes the ones that what is it, LFPO4, LFPO3 or whatever, the battery materials. It's a lot better and it's not that much more expensive. But yeah, because of how often I'm like using UPSs to test PC components, I'm constantly like, unplugging it and recharging it back up more so than a normal person would, right? Normal UPS use is when your power goes out. Otherwise, you don't really discharge it and like activate it too much because it's constantly plugged to the wall. But the way that I use it, I definitely needed to get a new one. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see, Golden Mates. They're under $200 last I checked. Yeah, these ones right here. LifePo 4. I think I picked up this one, the 1000 VA one. And I think it's good for how many watts? Like, it tells you on here 600 watt, 1000 VA. But yeah, so I mean, on Amazon, how much are these on Amazon? This one's an 800 watt, which is a little bit more expensive, but definitely look into them. There's a bunch of other companies that make UPSs, but this is the one in terms of like pricing, battery type and stuff that I thought was kind of like the best value one. And I have it sitting in the back. I haven't unboxed it yet. I was going to unbox it for the next pickup video that I did. Any negative notes on the Aqua 3 or was it all good? I would say... Oh no, love. Uh-oh. Hi, love. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The Aqua 3. You okay? The Aqua 3, it's a more compact case, which could be good or bad. I think it's in a good way. But in terms of like building experience, which Robert, I know you've built PCs, so you should be fine. But for a beginner, I would say it might be a little bit more like cramped. But for experienced builders, any other problems with it? Not really. I think it looks awesome. It's priced well. It has. I should be able to cable manage it decently well. I think some people might have issues with the airflow path and ventilation because with some of these cases, give me 1 second. Let me move over to that test bench. So yeah, with these cases, a lot of the similar style cases to this, they have those side ventilated fans, right? The Aquas 3 does not have that because it has bottom intake or exhaust, I guess. Because it's ventilated down here and it can fit 2 fans right below the graphics card, they don't, and in my opinion, this is a good thing, they don't have like that extra large space to put 2 side intake fans on, which then increases the size of the case. So as long as you're using like mid-ish range components or not doing anything too crazy, I'm pretty sure you could put a 9800 X3D or like a 14700K in here with no problems temps-wise. But just note that the airflow path is different than other cases that are kind of like clones, or this is a clone of, if that makes sense. Like, let me see if I can go back to the browser scene. So let me see, white micro ATX. I gotta type with one hand, so bear with me. So I was going between different cases when I was choosing this one. And so here's the Aqua 3. So this one, the Thermaltake View, you see how this one has the 2 fans on the side instead, but then the overall case just becomes bigger because of it. There was another one, I think it was the Dark Flash one. This one it seems worse than the Aquas 3 because it doesn't have the side intakes and it has these 2 bottom fans, but it's not ventilated down here. So that's why I did not choose this one, because I think when we look at the back, I don't even think the back panel is ventilated. So I don't know in this case what the point of these bottom fans are when there's no ventilation. I mean, there's gonna be the power supply here that's its own, like, intake and then exhaust, but you would need like some kind of mesh around here or on the back panel, which this didn't seem to have. What else was there? I also looked at like these ones, which are more cubey. I didn't pick these ones because I hate these glass panels where the thumb screws go through the holes in the glass. Poor design in my opinion. What else is there? I thought there was one more, but maybe that was it. Yeah, so that's why I went with the Aqua 3. I think, or the Aqua 3. I think it's a good case. Angry Yank Garage says, higher voice tones startle them. Oh, that sucks for them then, because I have a pretty high-pitched, nerdy voice to begin with. So, I'm sorry, but I did get excited and go extra high and startled her. I love the King 95 Pro. I don't know why the King 95 never caught on for me. Like the King 95, I am just not like that curved corner does nothing for me. If anything, I think it looks, and this is my personal opinion, not bashing on anyone's opinion, just giving my own why I don't care for it. In my opinion, having the curve and then having the glass end right there so that like the seam happens right there, I think it looks worse than just having a squared off corner. I think it, like, this to me looks so weird. You have the curve, then boom, it just ends right there. It would be different if this was one gigantic like piece that was curved, but they curve it and then put the seam here. I don't know. To me, not a fan of it, but I know this is a very popular case that people like. Is this 160? Oh yeah, I mean, this is considered one of Montec's, I guess, nicer, more premium cases. I don't know. I will give them that it is different. Wait. Oh, is the music not playing because I didn't put it on repeat? Oh, I failed. We were supposed to have music this whole time. Babies grow so fast in just 5 years. It will go to school, walk, speak coherent sentences. I mean, they'll be walking. I think babies start walking like sometimes before 1 year, right? But yeah, going to school, leaving the house, going into the real world, that's gonna be a whole new thing. But yeah, right now, there's the whole frustration because they're very needy and they cry all the time and they poop a bunch and they need to be fed all the time. But I know as soon as they grow up past that phase, I'm gonna wish they were this tiny again so I could just hold her, with one arm in the palm of my hand. But I got maybe a couple more months of this left before I can't do that anymore. Or I can get really strong and do it up until they're like much older. Imagine where tech will be when the twins get older. Oof. Yeah, I gotta save a bunch of Optiplexes because their first computers are definitely gonna be budget, super like, scrappy old, like maybe office PCs. King 95 Ultra. What's the difference between that? See, I'm getting a workout right now, just kind of holding her and supporting her head. My arm is starting to feel it, especially since this is my weaker arm. King 95 Ultra. They're gonna use ChatGPT in preschool. So King 95 Ultra. So it's got the brushed glass. Any other photos? and it's just like darker. So it seems like the same case except with slightly nicer looking materials and tinkered glass. Am I seeing that right? It takes it to the next level. Enhanced with gear. Oh, this is the Gear Seekers one. Yeah. This is Nick from Gear Seekers. He pretty much like collabed with them, right? Gear Seeker signature, touch and color materials. I know. Nick's a really good guy. Nick from Gear Seekers, really good guy. I've never met him in person yet, but he I know he loves the Montec King case. What if they're console gamer gals? Impossible. Once you are exposed. Oh, it's here? Okay. Food's here. We got McDonald's apparently. I think my wife's mom picked it up. But I think if you're exposed to PCs, I feel like the chance of you wanting to go to console is very low. Now, for the people who have never experienced PCs and all they know is console, then I think that's why they like tend to stick to it and like it. But if you expose them at a young age to PCs, I think they should be on the right path, so to speak. Don't understand how women walk around holding a baby for an hour plus. My arm is dead and back is hurting after 25 minutes. Yeah, I need a... Mom strength is real. I'm working on my dad's strength. How you doing, love? How you doing? We're going to put you up here now. Can you hug me real quick? Can you hug me with your arm? I love their little arms when I can get them around my neck. Come on, girl. You got it. Okay. Here's a new comfortable position. The only consoles I ever liked were Nintendo consoles. I'm sorry, love. I'm gonna try to speak much quieter. Only consoles I ever liked were Nintendo consoles. Blame their exclusives. Clothes hangers to the bum if they are console player. Clothes hangers, feather dusters. No, I'm kidding. That is abuse. All right, it is 7:23. 2 more minutes, guys. Then I gotta go have some dinner and then hang out with the in-laws as well as these little. Or I'll probably put her down, but she's gonna be up and needing to feed soon. But you guys will be seeing this build. Probably not this weekend because I need to test it and make the video, but it'll probably be next week. The build video with the benchmarks and everything. So, yeah, but. Thanks for the kind words, Pete Dunn. I appreciate it. I wish they would make a case with an external GPU mount on the rear panel. That would be sweet. That would be, I feel like, going towards test or like open test bench type case territory. There are a lot of them that do like have the GPU just like sticking out. Actually, if before we go, if you guys haven't seen, was it Game Line Nexus? What did Hardline Nexus? My buddy Hargy. The types of builds he does and the cases that he does, Hardline Nexus. His channel used to be Hargy, but he's got a lot of cool open. Like these types of builds. So that's what I think of when you say make an external GPU mount on the rear panel. Not necessarily rear in his case, but like, you know, the graphics card, I guess this one is sticking out normally, but the way that the whole case looks, I'm pretty sure you could make one where you put a riser cable to make it come back on a different side. But yeah, Hardy does really, really cool looking like builds with these types of cases. It's almost like artwork. They are very expensive though. But all right, you guys have a great rest of your evenings. Have a great rest of your week, and have a great weekend coming up. And I will see you guys in next week's stream. As well as we do have a Discord channel, so feel free to pop in there if you want to hang out for anything. But yeah, time to have some family time. So take care, everyone. Appreciate you being here. Hope to see you next week. Bye bye.